All right. RFK Jr. lost his mind when CNN reporter Dana Bash confronted him about vaccines and about measles and about all of the things going wrong under his watch of HHS. And he looks terrible. Now, I'm going to give you my disclaimer before we watch the first video. Sadly, Dana Bash was not really prepared for this. RFK comes off like a lunatic prick here, but she also sort of seems unprepared. Now, the counter is, how can you possibly be prepared for someone so comfortable just making stuff up and doing personal attacks? We're going to watch it and sort it out. But RFK rapidly escalating when the topic of vaccines and measles come up.
Data. Let's talk about the measles, please, because this is something that is happening as we speak. The cases in the U.S.
vaccine protected children.
I think that what I have talked to scientists and doctors
You've
about.
Scientists. Can you show me one study?
Yes, I can.
That shows that
I can.
Children were protected by the COVID vaccine.
I can tell you that there
are. That vaccine did more good than harm to children. Can you show me one study that shows that?
I can tell you that when it comes to the vaccine, there have been studies that show that because of vaccine disinformation, there could have been 100 to 200,000 lives in the U.S. saved. But because people didn't get the vaccine, that's why. I'm not saying that it entirely.
You are saying nonsense. You are saying something that you cannot show me a single study.
I am not saying nonsense.
You are talking what somebody told you.
Excuse me.
And you cite me the study. What study?
No, what studies are you talking about? You're talking about studies that actually don't exist. I want to talk about.
Cite me the study that you're talking about.
I am not here to defend.
Study. Cite me the study.
This is not productive. I am not here to defend all of the. Let me
you're
finish.
Talking nonsense. You're making assertions you can't support, and then when I call you on them, you're telling me that I'm arguing.
Okay.
With
Do you want to talk about assertions that you can't support? I'll get there in a second. Let me just say, for the record, that I am not saying that the entire way that the COVID reaction was accurate. It was a scary time, and people made mistakes. Absolutely.
You were scaring people.
Why are you saying that?
Because that was the job of CNN.
Okay.
Was to put the pylons up about how many people are dying.
We were trying to we were listening to the leaders in this country, including the president, who had a daily press conference explaining what was going on and trying to listen.
Were you listening?
I want to talk to measles.
Actually, were you reading the science yourself?
The measles cases.
All right. So listen, he's a prick, but she is not as prepared as I would like to see her. But then they get into this, well, you're not a scientist. Well, neither are you. And it just keeps escalating.
So you are actually looking at, you're starting new studies to try to link autism, but you're also telling me.
I'm not trying to link autism to anything. I'm trying to find out, why has autism gone
Are you
from
also
less
trying
than
to,
why
are you
has
also trying to
autism
find
gone?
out how it interacts with people's DNA, what's predisposed to have an autistic child? Are you doing both?
Yeah, but Dana, you probably don't understand this because you're not a scientist, but genes genes don't cause epidemics.
I understand. Genes,
they can provide a vulnerability.
A gene provides environmental. That's what I'm asking. Are you studying the environmental
We're looking
exposure?
at all the different environmental exposures, but
one of the funny things that he slips in there is genes can't explain autism because genes don't cause epidemics. And there's two issues with that. Number one, the idea of autism as an epidemic, he's using the term colloquially, like we're just finding a lot of autism, but epidemic actually means something different in scientific terminology. The other thing is, when you talk about epigenetics, which is how genetics interact with the environment, you can have a genetic cause for something that becomes more common because of how it is interacting with a change to the environment. And there, by the way, I'm not asserting any of this stuff, but there are people out there who go, no, the explanation is our genes interacting with microplastics in the environment are coming together for more autism. That's not my explanation. This is just one of the things that's out there. He just is sort of messing with all of the different terms. Here he is flipping out more.
All you know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again.
Yes.
To talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what? That is my job, to talk to people.
Your job is to
Am I
tell the
allowed
truth
to talk?
to the American
Yes,
public.
yes, and my job
And
is
to
to
be-
get as
and
much
to-
information as I
And
can.
to maintain
And what we were doing,
a posture
what we were
of
doing,
fierce skepticism
what we
toward
were
government
doing
authority.
All right, I think you get it. He's flipping out the entire time. One of the things that is really important to do when you see a highly emotionally charged piece of media like this is to really try to slow down and think about what are the factual assertions that are being made and how can I fact check them. So part of this is about measles, or the interview was supposed to be about measles. Isolate that and figure out, where are there more measles? How many of the people getting measles now are vaccinated? Almost none. Isolate that. Second, what do we and don't we know about vaccines? We're not allowed to study them. That's not true. They love going away. We should be studying the vaccine. Well, we have. Next week, I'm going to do a deep dive into autism and vaccines, and it's going to be hopefully useful to people who don't believe that there is a connection between vaccines and autism, but aren't exactly sure what is the factual basis to make that assertion. So we're going to get back to that. RFK just flipping out on Dana Bash. It just a complete and total mess. I don't think anybody who watched that would have learned anything. Now, on the bonus show today, we'll talk about the Idaho In-N-Out Burger shooting, which is getting really mysterious. Todd Blanche rescinds Trump's anti-weaponization fund, which is what a bunch of Republican senators wanted to do if he wanted their support. And Donald Trump is sparking outrage for blatantly cheating. Cheating on what, though? We will talk about all of that and more on today's bonus show. Sign up at joinpakman.com to get instant access. And remember that my forthcoming book, Pay Attention, is available for pre-order at davidpakman.com/attention. Signed copies of the book, limited number, still available. All the information is there, davidpakman.com/attention. Appreciate you watching. Stick around for this next video, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you actually see our uploads. You can also catch the full podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.